All right, Owner Builders Unite. This is Matt. I'm here with Andy and Elizabeth, and we're going to do a work party today. What are we doing, Andy and Elizabeth?
We're mudding our walls. It's an earth bag house, Scoria bag house. You might have seen it before. We're on the inside today, mudding the walls. We're doing like our first coat, which for our Scoria bags means it's sort of like a pack out coat. We're sort of chinking like you would think of between logs, you know, in a log cabin, but we're doing it in between the bags. So we're just filling mud in between the bags. Gonna have a big crew, and we'll see how much of this we can get done. Hopefully all of it.
Let's talk about the mix.
The mix is a combination of native soil. We have to actually get it from our local pit because we don't have great native soil on site here, but it's mostly sand. It's called Natural Fines. Mostly sand. There's a little bit of clay in there, maybe anywhere from 12 to 18%, depending on who you talk to. We have done shaker tests of it, jar tests to see how much, but it's roughly in that range. We're adding a slight bit of clay in there, so we're getting it to maybe like 20 or 25%. There shouldn't be too much cracking, but we want it to be slightly stickier just to stick to the bags. There's also some straw in there as well. We're not doing much sifting. It's not very fine. There's definitely some coarse grains in there. We really found as like a base coat, it just doesn't matter. Like honestly, getting this stuff to stick to the bags, this initial coat, what we're doing right now, the chinking coat, is sort of hard. When the mix is wet, there's a little bit of a trick to it. Once it solidifies and dries out, I mean, it's like it's glued on there. You literally have to chisel it off, which I have had to do because of accidents in electrical work. But it's really, really stuck on there. So it's more about just getting it on today while it's wet and not having it fall off, and then we're good.
So it's the same idea with tires too. This is almost like a cob.
It's cob.
It is cob.
It's just a matter of like how wet do you want it in order to get it to stick the best, and what your clay percentage is. You know, depending on what you're doing, you want to modify that clay percentage up or down slightly. Straight cob, you usually want higher clay percentage because you're not as worried about monolithic cracking. You know, plaster floors, you want lower clay percentage because you are worried about cracking. We're sort of in the middle today. And then water content, this is much drier than you would normally have it for like earth and plaster, although the recipe is very similar, because we found if we get it too wet, it won't stick to these bags. And we're not doing like a smear coat, we're getting it to stick in there. It's also maybe a bit wetter than you would do for a floor, or drier. I don't know. It just, you know, you modify it based on your needs. If you're doing monolithic cob and you're trying to sculpt, you would probably have it drier than this because this stuff would like smedge out.
Words of wisdom. Work party.
You fill your bucket maybe half full or it gets pretty damn heavy.
Cool.
I don't want to do bucket free 10. How many buckets do you have?
What's that? You want to do what?
2 buckets.
2 buckets.
What's that counterweight, doggy?
Yeah.
Per hand?
We do a bucket at each hand when I walk over to this.
Well, you
back.
need water.
Oh, water too. You're gonna put water on the wall?
No, you need water to wash your hands off.
Oh, nice.
Because when your hands get super muddy, then the mud sticks to your hands and you pull it right back off again.
Oh, right.
So there's a ton of dipping in your hands. So the gloves are gonna be like whatever.
Cool.
So yeah, I mean everyone needs their own bucket. Well, we can mix. I mean, we can share if we have to. Just stand close to each other or whatever.
Looks good.
So technique, what you're going for is maybe like a small ball, maybe like small apple or plum. Helps to like give it a little squeeze together. Force is good, and then the smear really helps. I feel like if you aim for like right here when you sort of smash it in, then it bonds well to the bottom, which is really what's holding it on. And then the upward smear is how you get your hand off and how it sticks.
Look at Matt
So
making
that's
a
good.
mess already.
Ideally, we drop as little as possible, but it is what it is. Also, yeah, that does happen. You'll get better at it.
I could throw that back on, right?
Yeah, of course.
Everybody's here.
Cool.
And then the idea is pack out. So we don't want to put a tiny bit of mud in here. We actually want to fill it to the point where like it's as smooth as possible.